Churchill Capital. One of the biggest SPAC news events happened last week. Let's talk about what this is, whether you should invest, and how this has anything to do with Lucid Motors. Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Romel, and on this channel we talk about all things related to finance, investing, and building wealth. We discuss mindsets, strategies, techniques, and resources to help you on your journey to build wealth. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. We produce new content every week. Alright, so for Churchill Capital, we'll be talking about some of the usual things we do. We'll be discussing recent news, what they do, if there's potential to buy them, and should you buy. To begin with, let's talk about the recent events. Why has this company come onto our radar, and why do I think that it's one that you should look into? Well, just last week, Bloomberg, one of the biggest reputable news outlets, mentioned that Lucid Motors is in talks to list via Michael Klein SPAC. And the SPAC that he's talking about is none other than Churchill Capital, ticker symbol CCIV. Alright, I mentioned some terms in this, such as SPAC, and if you don't know what that is, stick around till the end of the video because we'll be discussing what that is and why this is important. Alright, and there's another article I saw here saying that Lucid Motors and the SPAC Churchill Capital Corp are now much more likely to merge in light of new circumstantial evidence. One of the things to note here is that what I'm going to be showing you is circumstantial. There is some speculation to this, so there's nothing concrete, but it could be a good time to, like people say, buy the rumors and sell the news. Some backstory on that: people generally say that you buy companies when rumors come out because that's when their value is the lowest. Once the news comes out, obviously the price of the stock jumps because of factual information. This could be a good time to get in on the rumors. Alright, so CCIV, Churchill Capital, what are they? Well, like I mentioned before, they're a SPAC, and if you actually look at their SEC filing, it says here that Churchill Capital is a blank check company formed for the purpose of effecting a merger, capital stock exchange, asset acquisition, stock purchase, reorganization, or similar business combination. So one of the things I'd like to highlight on there is that Churchill Capital is a newly incorporated blank check company formed for the purpose of effecting a merger, which is what we're talking about here. A possible merger between Churchill Capital and Lucid Motors. Alright, so what exactly is a SPAC? Like I mentioned here, it is a publicly listed company whose purpose is to identify and purchase a private company. Alright, so one of the questions you're probably asking yourself is, why do SPACs exist? Why don't the private companies just go public via IPO? Well, if you see here, it says private companies are willing to be acquired by SPACs because it's more flexible and less burdensome than going public through an initial IPO. Alright, so it makes private companies much easier to go public. That's done through something called a reverse merger, whereas a SPAC will purchase public companies such as Lucid Motors. Alright, so Lucid Motors, what are they? What do they do? Well, to begin with, they are automotive EV company. So they're basically building EV vehicles, right? Electronic vehicles, similar to Tesla. Right now, they have one car that's currently in production, and that's the Lucid Air. You can see from this photo that they have 4 current trim levels, with the cheapest one starting at just $69,000. And their most expensive Air Dream Edition, which is their flagship model, at over $160,000. So you can see there's a big range in prices, but that's for a good cause. Actually, one of the videos I saw regarding the Lucid Air was that they're not actually competing directly with Tesla. They feel that their biggest competitor is the Mercedes S-Class. And when it comes to looking at price ranges, you'll see that it does make sense why they are pricing their car that way, because the Mercedes S-Class is, in the same price ranges. So is that the only car they have? Do they only have a sedan? Well, if you look at their website, they are working on something called Project Gravity, which is this SUV that they're looking to launch in 2023. So right now, they do only have the Lucid Air, but they're also mentioning expanding their product line to have a SUV called Project Gravity. One thing that is important to note about the Lucid Motors team is who their leadership is. So to start with, I'm not going to go through all of the leaders, but I want to highlight some key individuals that I think are interesting to know about. So the first is Peter Rawlinson, who is the CEO and CTO. The interesting thing about him is that prior to Lucid, so his job right before starting Lucid was the vice president of vehicle engineering at Tesla and the chief engineer of the Model S. So he is largely part of the fact that Tesla's Model S came into production. You'll see here that he said he was part of the engineering team that led the Model S from clean sheet to production readiness, which is amazing, right? So he was there from the very beginning, from the inception of the Model S right up until production. And this is the same guy that basically took all of his knowledge from there and is starting a company with a similar type of business model, EV cars. Apart from that, you should know about Eric Bach. He is the vice president of hardware engineering at Lucid. And one of the things that's mentioned here is that he also had experience in the automotive industry. He was also with Tesla, where it says here he blends deep expertise from high volume equipment manufacturers with agile execution of technology forward industry challengers. So that's another great person to have on your team. The next person here is Peter Hochholdender, and I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Let me know what you guys think. But he is their vice president of manufacturing. And if you look on here, he was actually also the VP of production for Tesla Motors. All right, there's two other people I want to mention. One is Peter Hasenkamp, who is the VP of supply chain, and he was the director of vehicle systems purchasing at Tesla. And lastly, Doreen Allen, who is the senior director of sales. She actually headed sales operations at Tesla Motors. So I think those individuals are, important to know about. They all have had prior experience at Tesla, which is one of the biggest EV manufacturers out there. If you talk about electric vehicle cars, obviously it's synonymous with Tesla. And being that a lot of their leadership team basically left there to join Peter to start Lucid is a great sign. They all have experience in creating cars. They all have experience in EV, and they were part of the team that's most synonymous, like I said, with the word EV. All right, some other recent news you should know about is that the construction is complete for their very first EV factory, and that is in Casa Grande, Arizona. So that's a good sign. That means that they do have a warehouse now, or a factory where they can start really pushing production on their Lucid Air. And looking at some of the recent news, I saw that they are looking to roll out the Lucid Air as early as spring 2021. All right, let's talk more about the company and its potential. Well, if you actually look at the current job openings, they are expanding like crazy. They currently have 582 open jobs. And of those, I want to highlight 3 specific ones. And that's in relation to this whole CCIV merger. The first one is going to be, if you look at the finance and accounting section, that's an SEC reporting manager. Obviously, you're not going to hire for that position if you're not looking to, go public. SEC filing reporting manager is really what companies do or submit to when they want to go public. One of the first ways I do my research is go on SEC to look at the IPOs or filing documents that companies submit. That's where you'll see what their business is. It talks about the business risks, talks about how they're going to grow, and it talks about profits and potential. So being that they have a SEC reporting manager position open is a great indicator that they are looking to go public relatively soon. The other 2 positions I want to mention is about the business development side of things. And that is they have a director of investor relations position open and also an analyst in investor relations. So investor relations is definitely something that's, part of going public. Once a public company goes public, they generally have an investor relations section where they start to put things such as press releases, key events, and their most recent filings. So I think those 3 positions are great indicators that they are looking to go public. Whether or not that has anything to do with the CCI merger is up for, discussion. Right now it's speculation, but those are good signs that they are going to go public. All right, and then the last thing I want to bring to your attention is a person on their board of directors. So if you actually look at their website, this guy, Andrew Liveris, is the chairman of the board of directors on LUCID. However, and interestingly enough, he's also part of the operating partners on Churchhill Capital. So whether or not this has anything to do with the merger is, up for speculation. But with a big but, there is, there's great synergies to be found in a member that's on both teams of both companies, right? So if he is looking to facilitate a merger, it's great that he's listed on both companies. All right, now, so the question of the day, should you invest in CCIV? Well, to start, I do want to highlight this article by the Motley Fool saying it's risky business. It says here that, Churchill Capital has been seeing a great increase to $18. Initially, it came out at $10. So that's, been a pretty big increase. One of the other things they mention here is that if the negotiations fall through or if details fail to materialize, the Churchill stock will definitely tank. So I think the big takeaway is that right now, this merger is still speculation. It is still rumors. The latest stock chart shows them on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern time having a stock market price of $18.36. The previous high, which was also on Friday, which was $21. All right, and so I think to kind of summarize this video, should you invest? Well, first, it's a speculation play. There's no real concrete evidence that there is going to be a merger. Second thing is, if you do want to, buy the rumors and sell the news, this is a great time to do so because it is a rumor right now. Third thing is that, Lucid Motors does look like it's going to go public. They do have a strong leadership team. They already have Lucid Airs in production, and they already have some that are running. If you look at some of the YouTube videos, you'll see that Lucid, they've already tested it. This isn't a Lucid Air overview, but I will say some key things. It's more efficient than the Teslas. It goes further than the Teslas. There's a different type of motor that's smaller and that can be coupled together to output more horsepower. And I think you'll see that the CTO, Peter, did take it out on the track, and it did beat Tesla's previous record by about 2 seconds, which is awesome. However, right after that, Tesla did do some engineering, and I think they did end up beating Lucid's track record, which is good because, a healthy dose of competition is always beneficial for technological advances. Personally, I did put some capital into CCIV. I'm going to see whether or not this happens. The compelling arguments to make about their merger is that, big media outlets such as Bloomberg have brought it up. I'm not even going to mention the Twitter thing because actually stock tweets thing because, a guy on there mentioned that there was going to be a news event or an event held by Lucid that would mention something big, but there's no factual backing to who that guy is and whether or not that was actually true. So I'm not going to bring that up. But like I said, Bloomberg Media has brought it up. Lucid Motors does have a lot of job openings, and in particular, they have 3 that we were interested in, which was the SEC filing manager and the investor relations positions. They have a strong leadership team, so if it does go public, I do feel that these people do know what they're doing, especially with their extensive experience being at Tesla and part of the Model S team. I think that's, a big achievement. And then for the people that are in the States, unlike a lot of the other EV companies based in China, such as NIO or XPeng, this Lucid is based in the US. And, on the video, I did mention that they did complete their factory. So that's also a great sign. All right, so let me know what you guys think. Is this compelling enough for you guys to put your money in? Like I said, I did put my money in, so we'll see if I made a bad decision or not. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor at all, so anything that you get from this video It's just my research. It's just some guy on YouTube giving you research that I've done and telling you what I'm doing with my money. So, invest at your own risk. Technically, I think this is a penny stock right now, and whether or not this deal goes through is really up for discussion. We'll have to see how this stock does perform in the coming weeks, and we'll have to see what the news looks like regarding Churchill Capital and Lucid. However, if this does go through, this could be the next Tesla or bigger than Tesla, and that, I think, is what a lot of people are hoping for. They're hoping this deal goes through. They're hoping that the rumors do materialize so that they do have a Tesla competitor and they get in early enough. All right, guys, that's all I have for this video. If you stuck around to the end, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all your support. If you'd like to connect with me on other social media platforms, such as Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, I'll leave links in the description and down below. Also, I do want to actually give a shout out to one guy that DM'd me on my Instagram account, and that is Sakir Hussain, SAKRHSEIN1. Thank you for reaching out to me. Like I mentioned, I love the engagement. I do reply to the DMs on my other social media accounts. So feel free to say hi. Just tell me what you think. Feedback, criticism is always welcomed. We're a new and growing channel, so anything of that sort is always appreciated. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. Like I mentioned, we produce new content every week. Also, if you got value out of this video, go ahead and smash the like button to let the YouTube algorithm know that you appreciate the quality of content we produce. And if you know someone else that is currently looking to invest in CCIV but hasn't had the time to do research in the company, feel free to forward this video to them or share this video with them so they could see all the details surrounding CCIV and Lucid Motors. All right, guys, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.